Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and it's that time again for me to check out your latest requests and recommendations for underground metal albums on Bandcamp. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, we're going to kick this thing off with a band I've heard a bunch of people talking about, one of the probably bigger, even though still very underground bands on this list today, Yoth, Iria. Big black metal release that I see a lot of my cohorts raving about. Just didn't have time for a full review, but I sampled a little bit, and I gotta say, like, definitely one of the black metal releases that has intrigued me more so far this year. I heard some Rotting Christ comparisons, which are definitely warranted. Love this album art, by the way. I'm not sure, the label's out of Poland, Pagan Records. They might be Greek, actually, which would make even more sense with the Rotting Christ comparison. I did see Acherontis tagged to another Greek black metal band. Yeah, very, like, melodic, but also some, like, doomier segments. This part has some, like, At the Heart of Winter vibes from Immortal. God, I can't stop looking at that album cover, though. It's just so cool, and I love the color palette. It's a little bit different. Yeah, they're just... There's a lot of good going on here. Again, I just didn't have time to do a full release, but I thought I'd still find some way to share it on the channel, which is just another reason why I love this format. It gives me the opportunity to really do that. Great guitar work. All sorts of cool melodies, lots of, like, layering... Very kind of epic sounding, lots of atmosphere. But yeah, good stuff. You kind of get the idea. This riff in particular kind of reminds me of Rotting Christ, too. So yeah, definitely check out Yoth, Iria if you, like me, are kind of feeling like there hasn't been a lot of black metal yet to really wow you so far this year. Hopefully, we'll get some more in Q2. Alright, on the complete flip side of the spectrum, we've got ORCumentary, which is a band I've been wanting to share for a while. It just dropped as I'm recording this today, and this is a Connecticut project. I believe one-man project by this fine fellow right here, and it is just very silly, but still, like, there's a lot of thought and care going into it. Kind of folk metal, but it's just all about orcs doing orc stuff, as you might gather from the title. It's very dramatic. It plays out like a musical, basically. It's like, this would be a really fun, like, I'd love to see them turn this into like an actual stage show. It'd be so ridiculous, but so much fun. Lots of just very, like, 90s TV show kind of synths, too. Sort of reminds me on some of these for some reason. But I like the atmosphere in some of these parts. And yeah, if you want to, like, appreciate some symphonic and folky kind of metal, but also get a little bit of a giggle, I feel like these guys would be a great double feature with Necrogoblikon. Kind of same energy. Different sound, but same energy. With just the, like, tongue-in-cheekness of it. Tongue-in-cheekness? Is that a word? But yeah, very interesting, very weird. Humorous, too. Like, it's very clear that this guy doesn't take himself too seriously, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's that's ORCumentary with fully orchestrated. Give it a listen. Alright, next up we have Raydharna with the Fomorian Horde out of Sweden. I don't think I've sampled as much of this, so this one will be a little bit more of a surprise to me. A little bit more of a power metal flair. They call themselves Fintroll styled collaboration group. Okay, there's that folkiness in there. So kind of like epic folk. Weird cover. Like, kind of Uncanny Valley weirdness stuff going on there. Oh, I like this part. That's kind of cool. I tend to be... Oh, here we go. We got the harsh vocals, too. This is more the folk that I tend to enjoy. but I've been known to enjoy some epic folk too. Catchy, definitely. Yeah, they keep listing Fintroll seems to be like a primary influence for them. There's a bunch in the description down here you can check out as well. Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. Sounds fun. And I love folk metal. There's a severe, like, drought when it comes to folk metal. Like, there's still folk metal out there, but it's not nearly as prevalent as it was several years back. So I'm always happy to get more. This is a fun little intro. A little dancey acoustic part. And those ska chords, too. Yeah, this seems like fun. I'll have to give this more time. Like the little symphonic elements. Yeah, so that is Raydharna with the Fomorian Horde. Check them out. Alright, next we've got a single from Maudir. It's called The Slumber. One-man black thrash metal project. Full album, I believe, is on the way. But I was intrigued enough by this that I wanted to go ahead and share the single in advance. It's very big. I like the heavy metal vibe to the riffs. Got some like classic atmosphere to it. Yeah, great guitar work. Don't know me, I'm a sucker. I'm first and foremost, like, guitar is the first thing I hear when I'm sampling stuff. Then the vocals. Nice little transition here. Like blackened part. Yeah, this part's just pure black metal. More like just mayhem. Yeah, nice fusion of the black metal tremolos with the more kind of thrash and heavy metal soloing and riffage. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm a big black and thrash fan. I can't remember the order of when my videos are coming out, but I have a Black and Thrash for Dummies video coming. As of recording this, it should be coming in a few weeks, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, that's Maudir with The Slumber. Add them to your wish list. Alright, next we have Oural, or Oural, with Ecce, Homo. They are a French group. Don't know as much about these guys either. Melodic hardcore from eastern France, says the description. Some like metalcore in there too. Just a little 4-song EP. A little groovy. Like that little wavering lead guitar over that. Well, it picked up. That was a surprise transition. Very, very kind of early 2000s metalcore kind of vibe going on here. Oh, I like this. This bass intro is nice. More groovy. Kind of Animals as Leaders vibe on that part. Seems like I can do some heavy, some kind of softer, more melodic stuff. We got those kind of like half-rapped vocals on this part. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the delivery. Oh, I like that riff, that bendy riff. Yeah, seems like there's some stuff to enjoy here. I feel like it lacks a little bit of personality. So that'll be my main feedback here, is figure out like how do we sort of really carve out a niche for ourselves, especially in this very well-trodden genre. But the foundational elements are here. I'm hearing a lot of things that I like. I think particularly I'm interested in hearing more of that almost like Animals as Leader kind of vibe, because it's a little bit more textured. But yeah, cool stuff. Glad to check it out. Thanks for reaching out. This is Oural with Ecce, Homo. Alright, we have the return of Madman Eriphion out of Athens, Greece. Dark magic and exploration of unknown dimensions. That's what they're calling this project. Yeah, never know what I'm gonna get from them. I covered them on a previous episode with, maybe 2 previous episodes at this point. The last album was just pure, like, violent noise. This feels a little less dense. A little bit more black metal, too. Oh, here we go with the noise again, though. Again, this is like, if you want some, like, really twisted music, barely even call it music, like, to just drift away to another plane, but not in, like, the good way that, say, like, post-metal does, like, more so, like, take you to, like, a Event Horizon-esque hell dimension. That's Eriphion. That's so, like, eerie. This would make really good, like, survival horror music, too. Like, this one in particular reminds me of something you'd hear in, like, Silent Hill. By the way, check out the Medium. I know the reviews are really mixed, but if you liked, like, Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 in particular, I think you'll really enjoy it. Random aside. They don't sponsor me. I wish they did. I would totally shill for them. Yeah, this one too. Like, just the minimalist, very, like, Akira Yamaoka vibe on this one with the drumming and just the soundscapes. But yeah, that's what you can expect from Eriphion. Check out their stuff if you like weird, noisy sounds. Alright, then we've got Brides from Warm Gadget out of Bend, Oregon, which are not too far from me. I actually have an office in that area. And yeah, I dug what I heard from these guys, because I'm such a 90s kid, and some of these grooves just reminded me of listening to 90s radio, back when alternative was on the radio a lot. There's just a little bit of, like, Helmet and Quicksand. Yeah, it's different, but it's so familiar at the same time. I like those riffs too. A little bit of even like Alice in Chains. Wouldn't be surprised too if they also listened to a lot of like Mike Patton projects and Melvins. But yeah, there's clearly some of that like alternative influence. Also like Deftones Adrenaline era, a little bit of that in here. So yeah, definitely different from the other stuff I'm covering today and generally cover on the channel, but I always have a soft spot for that 90s alternative sound. It's just, there's something special about it that it's cool to hear certain bands kind of imitate today. And it's interesting too that it's such an underground sound now when it was like the mainstream not too long ago when I was growing up. Alright, then we've got Ophion with Antediluvian? I think I said that right. Close enough. Spain. It's doing a little bit more globe-trotting. Not quite as consistent. Also, I was upset when I was editing that last episode because I realized there were actually 2 US bands on there. So it wasn't quite a new country every time, but close enough. This is cool. Another cool cover, too. International extreme metal band formed in 2017. A little bit of post-metal-y, but then also like maybe black and death metal. We got Gorgoroth in the tags too. You hear a little bit of that. Oh yeah. Kind of traversing sounds here. Ooh, I like that. This mixture of like pure aggression in the black metal, but then also some more atmospheric parts. Great vocals. I like the like little dual effect they're going for here, with the deep growls and the higher snarls. Yeah, I definitely do hear that Gorgoroth influence. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it, and I said it in my tier list more or less. Gorgoroth kind of sucks now, especially after the whole ugly legal fight and everything. So it's time for a new Gorgoroth. So I'm down for that. We don't really have a band necessarily to like fill that slot. But yeah, this sounds cool. I like the mix of sounds. Seems pretty dynamic too. So yeah, check out Ophion with Antediluvian. All right, then we've got Mountain Hermit with Silenced Minstrel. Dark Musing of the Ages. Split release. Mountain Hermit is from Italy. We're on their page right now. This sounds like just raw, minimalistic, kind of second wave black metal. Getting some kind of like Burzum-y vibes. They actually have a Dark Throne cover on here I'm seeing. Looks like there's a Diablo 3 track on here too. Yeah, very, very Burzum-y, like in kind of the different sounds here and just the focus on ugliness and atmosphere. Very just classic second wave looking cover too. Oh, it's a Transylvanian Hunger cover. Sounds not bad. Then we've got Silenced Minstrel in the second half. A little bit louder sound for these guys. They sound more like kind of early Immortal. Different kind of vocals though. We got a little bit more aggressive, less atmospheric. More that like mayhem energy. But yeah, if you just want some raw black metal, take you back to the early 90s when things were just kicking off, check out Dark Musings of the Ages. Alright, then we have Godeater with You Are No Exception, A Pale Shadow. Just a little 2-song EP here out of Glasgow, UK. Death metal band based out of Scotland. I like that. Just that melodic death metal sound. Ooh, symphonic too. That's dope. Ooh, those riffs are great. This might be my favorite so far. Ooh. Good songwriting too. Got a good crowd chanting moment there. Ooh. You get a good audience going, and that's going to be a great moment right there. A little bit of like Children of Bodom, R.I.P. by the way, and what else? Man, that's good. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm gonna definitely be following this for more future releases. Let's check out the other track. I'm gonna add them. I'm hitting that follow button. Yes, please. I want to hear more from Godeater. And Godeater, don't be a stranger. Send me more stuff, because you have struck a chord with me. This is a combination of some of my favorite things. I love symphonic extreme metal. I love melodic death metal with that Gothenburg sound. This is great. This is like full package already. Early on, too. So yeah, if you, like me, enjoy this, then this is Godeater with You Are No Exception and A Pale Shadow. Add them to your follow list. Then we have Diseased Earth with Coven of Leeches out of Staunton, Virginia. Just a single here. Sludge band. Nice groove. Ugly and raw, more of that. Kind of cool little cover here too. There's some decent cover art today. A little bit of very bluesy. And like a little bit of like Lamb of God in there. Not that they started that sound by any means. I mean, obviously they were influenced by a lot of blues. But I always just think of Lamb of God when I hear this sound. Lots of great soloing here. Rock and roll, man. Ooh. Cooking those guitars. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I can get down with this. I like it with the like kind of ugly, snarly, blackened vocals too. There's been a few bands I've come across that kind of have that particular sound, and I really love it. It's just this like blackened, like rock and roll, sludgy kind of thing. So yeah, Cool stuff. Diseased Earth, Coven of Leeches. All right, then we've got Broken Wanderer from Cabeza, or Cabeza, out of Lund, Sweden. And this cover is just pure Sweden too. Like that style, something about it just makes me think of old school death metal in Sweden. Yeah, that Swedish melodic death metal sound. A little faster on this one with Cosmic Tunes. Oh, and then they slow down again. Yeah, that's the thing about like old school Swedish is like they like to mix in those doom elements, which makes for a dynamic listen. Like to kind of change the pace around. Cool melodies. Sounds very malicious, ominous. Great simple track titles too. Necromancer. You can't go wrong with naming your song Necromancer. Here we go. Wasn't getting as much vocals. Yeah, that sounds pretty rad. And who doesn't like old school Swedish melodic death metal? I mean, come on. Yeah. Sounds fun. That is Cabeza with Broken Wanderer. Give them a listen. Alright, one of the more recent additions to the list. It's Svdestada with Axabache out of Spain. I probably mispronounced all of that. I went for more of like a German pronunciation. Like the cover, again, cool stuff. Very like crusty, D-beat. This is saying Neo Crust from Madrid and Buenos Aires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'll say D-beat is the fastest way to my heart. Ooh, those chord progressions too. I love crust. The only thing is like a lot of crust sounds so similar, but I always enjoy it. I'd like to see a crust band, and I've come across a few, but a crust band that like really steps out of the shadow of the genre and kind of like really makes themselves stand out, because that's always the element that feels lacking. But as far as that classic crust sound that I like so much, especially out of Europe, this has it totally down. I like this. This is definitely another one I would put in my top 3 from today. Just because it's my style. Like, this is kind of my favorite kind of go-to music to sort of jam to. Oh, this is interesting. Got a little accordion here on a crust album. That's different. But yeah, they got that mournful atmosphere that always seems to come with crust. Good stuff. I approve. Again, that's Svdestada with Axabache. Alright, and then we got Crescent Lament to close things out of Taiwan. And this was really cool. Like, this was one that I would have liked to have do a full review on. But again, just don't have the time. But yeah, very unique kind of symphonic metal project, but folk metal too. They got a cool look too. Got the costuming and everything. And it reminded me a lot of older Tenger Cavalry, which, again, I can't say enough. R.I.P. Nature, man. We lost a really creative mind in that one. Bums me out every time I think about it. But I'm glad to hear other bands capturing that same style. And it's very different from Tenger Cavalry at the same time. Like, they're doing a lot of other stuff, but they got good riffs too, in addition to the folk instrumentation, which is a must for me. Yeah, the album's called Land of Lost Voices. Yeah, just a nice mix of kind of classic female-fronted symphonic metal, but then very Eastern-sounding folk. A little bit of melodic death metal in the guitars. But yeah, this is another like standout for me for sure that you should definitely check out. I know I said that other one was my favorite, but I think this is overall my favorite. That would be a close second. Just a lot of cool stuff going on here. And I love when they bring in those traditional Eastern influences and instruments. Very cool stuff. So again, that is Crescent Lament with Land of Lost Voices. Don't miss them. Whew. All right, y'all, that was plenty for today. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of different styles, and now let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite, and let's get a conversation going. Maybe also if you have other things that I should check out, we can talk about that as well. And then, hey, stick around because I got a whole playlist of these, plus full album reviews for new releases, interviews with bands on the podcast. You name it, we got it, so plenty of reasons to stick around and subscribe if you have not already. Also, chat with us on Discord and support on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.